Hello, as you can see I've started the trailer. It's the M747. I think they don't know if they name that after a plane or not. Really quite easy to do. So far I've done sections 29, 30, 31, 32 and a bit of 33. All really straightforward. As you can see, it's basically putting the chassis frames together. No real quirky bits, difficult bits either. One I would mention here, which is a snatch block that goes at the end of the trailer. Snatch block, I'm sure you already know, but it doubles the pull on your cable when you're dragging something along by looping it round and doubling the cable pull. And it says on here no cement for those two hinges, but here for these two, the two halves of the actual snatch block, it suggests that you would glue them. But if you do, then I think you can see that. If you do, you won't be able to move it in that direction. You with me? So if you just glue this half of it, when you put it into that retaining hook there, then it will move that way and that way. Yeah, so that means basically you can pose it more easily when you finish the kit. That's all it's going to do. I'm sure you're not going to winch anything real onto it. A lot less detail on this than there was on the last Hobby Boss kit that I did. There's no pipe work to the brakes or the suspension. There's the lights, you should be able to see them in there, are actually plastic, and it suggests that you paint them amber, the marker lights, same on the other side. As I did on the last Hobby Boss kit that I had, these lashing points here I'm going to change for actual steel ones. They're very, very fragile, very thin plastic and really rather fragile, so I'm going to change those for steel cables. On the top here you would have lashing points going through those holes as well. I'll have a look at a couple of the real trailers on the videos of the real thing, but I'm fairly sure that they would have lashing points going through them, so I'll make some out of steel wire, and if you're interested I'll show you on a video as well. Not a lot gone on here. There's a snatch block there, a couple of cable guides up at the front here, difficult to see, a couple of cable guides going through there. There's a bit of an odd one here, and what I think would happen in real life is that would unclip from the top and flip down, so it came out of the bottom here, and then it would guide the cable down by the swan neck and through that cable guide there, and then out to the back of the trailer. But it seems in an odd position there. You wouldn't be able to feed a cable through it from there. There's a lot of filling being I've had to do. You can see some of it there. Can you? Yeah, there it is. Where the moulding eyes are on there. Difficult to see. There we go, got it. They were there on quite a few of these cross members. You may be able to see them just in front of the air tanks there. They're right across, and as I say, they were on quite a few of these cross members. It takes a bit of time to fill them in and sand them off, but it's worth it at the end of the day, because once it's painted you'd see them. The paint would show them up more. Really quite simple stuff. What I was going to do is, this is in 3 pieces, as you can see on the instructions. The first frame is put together fairly easily on section 29. Then the first frame goes inside the second frame, which is one piece, which is already prefabbed for you. Then everything fits inside that. Now I was going to paint those two separately and then put them together. Then I realised when I looked a little bit further along that once you put these cross members in, the ends of the cross members in, the next 3 pieces on, which are these 3, they cover up any gaps between the inner frame and the outer frame, so it's simply not worth painting it first, which is why it's gone so far ahead without me doing a video. There's not, as I say, there's not very much to it. I've glued all the suspension connectors on and the axle connectors on onto the bottom here. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put as many bits onto this as I can do before I spray it, so that I don't have to scrape any paint off to glue pieces on. And then I'm going to paint it all. I'm going to build all the running gear up, which will be section 34, which is all the running gear, the axles and the suspension. Then I shall build up the wheels. I won't put the tyres on them because, as always, I'm going to paint the wheels first. And with this, as I say, there's not as much detail as there was in the last Hobby Boss kit that I used. And the brake chambers are simply glued onto the back of the brake drums. Makes it a lot simpler to build, but not quite as challenging perhaps. As I say, then I'll put all the little bits that I can onto the trailer. So I might do some of the landing gear. In fact, I think I will do the landing gear. And that's 36, 37, 38. Blimey, there's no logical place to stop, is there? We'll see how we go on the next one. And I'll put as much, as I say, I'll put as much on it as I can. Then I'll paint it. Then I'll do another video and show you where we got up to. If you've got any questions, any comments, as always, if you could leave them in the comments area below. Also, I'd be very grateful if you would like and subscribe. And I shall see you next time. Ta-da!
Day begins the moment you leave home. Simply search Saga Tours today and book early to get the best price and availability for your 2023 tour. Escorted touring by Saga. Experience